Hello there, everyone. It is I, Super17 here. I'm sure as usual, I know in this pit. Well, I made the thumbnail, just don't own them, and this is not a paid video. Anyways, if you guys are wondering, who the freak is this girl right next to this guy who is Zack from, well, Angel of Death, the anime, basically. Isaac Foster, aka Zack, well, that's gonna be Izuku. So, this is female Bakugo, who's right next to him, who's gonna be the Rachel in this series. But before I get into anything else, I just want to get into an announcement real quick here, everyone. I'm almost at 10K. So, basically, during all of October, I'm gonna try and make as many Astas. I'm gonna try to finish off some Astas what ifs. And, well, I am gonna try. So, yeah, but anyways, I know this is a new deku one. I'm gonna go back to the Issei one, try to get the 6 episodes out before October. Though you guys already know about my one idea for, Issei. I mean, not Issei, for Deku being anti-venom. I will explain that more in a video on it. But for the Asta one, you all have to understand this when I tell you. I was born in the 1990s. I was born in the 90s, the 1990s. I'm not gonna say what year specifically, but it is close to the 2000s. And during that time, when I was a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh came out. So the thing is, I'm trying to maybe think of a way to bring Yu-Gi-Oh into the Black Clover series and the Shadow games too. So that means we get the God cards and a little bit of mixture of the Synchro Summon, Pendulous Summon, Overlay Summon, and Link Summon. Alright? But it is going to be the Shadow games like. So, I know what you're thinking. How can I do that? How? How? Simple. I'm Soul Super 17. I think of stories somehow that should never make sense. And I make them make sense. So I'll figure out a way. I'll even talk to some friends of mine. And ask them about it. So, let's, so let me just give this, a little bit of detail before we start. Hasashi's quirk. Weapon summoner. Side effects of it, though, makes him be crazy and wants to kill people. So basically a psycho. Or socio, whatever. Probably psycho more. Inko, love Hasashi. Saw the good in him. Because when he did not use his quirk, he was okay. Hasashi was bullied. Everyone liked Hasashi after getting to know him. Calling Inko's friends. They became his friends. So, yeah. So, yep, okay, what else before, because I want to try to just make this an hour long, because I'm going to be making the part 3 to the Issei Sebastian's son. I'm going to try to upload that tomorrow. Well, actually, later today. So, I'm trying to make this a little bit of just a hour long series. Hour part, or maybe an hour, 3 minutes, anyways. So, yeah, basically, Inko's quirk still telekinesis. Hasashi and Inko, they get married. And they had Izuku. They were really worried for Izuku because of Hasashi's quirk. Now, we all know what happens to Izuku, and the theory is, the doctor that, Izuku goes to, Dr. Gerald, stole Izuku's quirk for one for all. We don't know how, or if he even had a quirk, but the theory is, he did. There's some. So, in this one, yes, the doctor did steal Izuku's quirk for one for all. Not one for all for one. But this is where our story starts. It's after, they found out Izuku's quirkless. It's basically after all of that. Hasashi and Inko are upset that their son did not have a quirk, but secretly a little bit happy. But Izuku, he's not really fazed by it, actually. when he says, "Oh, all right." I mean, I just want to become a hero without Quirk then. Which, that kind of shocked the Doctor, and Inko, and Hasashi. The Doctor says, but Quirkless Stone goes like, yeah, so, I'll prove a point. Even Quirkless can become a hero. And somewhere down the line, my Quirk activates, or if I ever get one, I won't forget where I came from, being Quirkless. So anyways, Mom, Dad, can we get going? And they're like, yes, son. And they leave. The Doctor's chuckling inside his head, but he commended the kid for his spirit. So, while, he's gone, Izuku, goes to the park, like in canon, where he meets up with Bakugo, who is female in this one, so Katsumi. He calls her Kachan, Cat, whatever you can think of a nickname, but I wanted to, go with like a feminine nickname for her, so I think they'll just call her, yeah, I think just Kate, Kate. Wait, Katsumi? So Katsu? Yeah, Katsu. Yeah, that works for now. So Amy goes, hey Katsu. And she was like, Izuku, did you get your Quirk? And Eliza goes, yeah, about that. She was like, come on, tell me. I know we promised we'd be great heroes together. Come on. And he goes, I'm quirkless, actually. Like, what? He goes, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna let it bother me so much, actually. There's always something else you can have that's better than a quirk. Besides, quirks aren't everything, And before, she can even yell at him or say, get away from the loser or something. Because she doesn't understand. She feels hurt. So, she wants to say something, but Inko says, Izuku, come on! Your dad needs to get something he forgot at the store. He's like, right, Mom. Bye, Katsu. See you later. He's walking away. But, all of a sudden, for a split moment, Katsumi saw something red just appear on Izuku's back. Like, a glimpse, from underneath his shirt. Just a bright light appeared. And then she sees someone with a red hoodie, looking back at her. Face covered with bandages with black hair. And a weird look in his eye. That's basically different. And then he just waves by, waves to her and keeps walking. In the same area where Izuku is. She doesn't understand why, but she just saw it and the light disappears and so does this image. But she also realized there was a scythe in his hand. So, basically, we go a little bit going back in time a little bit now to after Izuku, and after about 20 minutes after they left, All For One is being told by Dr. Droll about the Quirk. That is very interesting. It's a summoning quirk of weapons, and that it can use telekinesis for it to basically manipulate the area around. And he also tells them about he has a skin durability quirk. Anything that is hit from it over time, your skin will get, better, durable, way less to be destroyed. But if it's for a long period of time, it will, increase the process of the durability. Then a healing factor, a slight one, but it does regenerate some minor wounds. There will be some scorns if it's, too much of a big wound. Say, bullet holes will be easily to be healed, along with stab wounds, but anything to do with swords, or basically, you will have scars. And then, well, there's a thing to do with how can I say this right? Which All For One's like, what is it, Dr. Giro? It was like, well, the thing is about this other quirk. It's dangerous. It's like, how can I say? It's sort of Well, it's like there was a second quirk, a part of Izuku's. Well, the young boy named Izuku Midoriya. Which, he was, what do you mean? He was, well, I looked into his father's files. It turns out it was recently updated. They found out about how there was a part where anything damage he took, he would get infinitely stronger from it. The more pain he takes, or the beatings he takes, before a fight, he can store it up in his body. Basically, and increase his strength and durability and everything else, so it was a part of Izuku's quirk too. But it was separated from it for some other reason. I guess because his father just recently found out about it, it didn't show up until now. So I guess Izuku had it right away. And then, and all for once, is interesting. Interesting. Alright. I'll wait till you get here. Good luck with your next patient tomorrow, Doctor. As he was, thank you, Master. I'll be going now. As he hangs up the phone, he's legit looking at Izuku Midoriya's file. He was like, "Oh, kid, if only you knew how much of a danger you would have been to the Master and his plans for this society." As then the Doctor Duro starts to hear a weird laughter. Which, he's freaking out. He doesn't know where it's coming from. He was like, "Where are you? Who's there?" He was like, "Oh, you really think you can take me away from my partner? Oh, you're wrong, Doc." Oh, it's funny. You basically get me a smorgasbord of quirks that I can easily take from you. Which, the Doctor's like, "Wait, what do you mean? How will you able to take quirks? You're not my master. Only he can." He goes like, "Oh, but I don't belong to you or him. You see, I belong to the kid you took me away from." Which, the Doctor's freaking out. And yes, if you guys are thinking this is BS, I can't do this. I'm making this quirk basically, as you can tell, a pure entity. Something that's beyond the point of singularity, you can say. Like, it has a will of its own, and it basically will go back to Izuku no matter what. No matter who takes it. But there's a price for the people who take the quirk away from Izuku. Yeah. Yeah, if you know Zack, you know he ain't a freaking saint. We all know he ain't. Zack is a freaking killer. They say serial killer. Which, if you don't know, I made also Hasashi almost become. If Inko wasn't around, he would have been that way. But anyways, back to the story. As Dr. goes like, "Wait, what? How? A quirk can't be this way. No quirk can. Besides a sentient quirk. But you're not sentient. You can't." He goes, "Oh yeah, I ain't sentient until I get taken away from him. That's a little thing. The kid's quirk was past the point of singularity." Which the Doctor's freaking out. And he goes, "Oh now, let's see. Durability." The second part to the quirk that I was still trying to form into his original quirk. The healing factor. What else? I think I'll take this one too. As well, the Doctor basically just shot that he could feel the quirks disappearing, combining into one. Basically, the durability, as I said, the one Izuku had, basically, what his father had, that I just told you about, that I did not add in. I originally had this plan like this. Don't you worry. And then the healing factor one. And, well, basically, he's just, then the Doctor suddenly, all his powers are welling up in him. He's like, "What the hell? How are you doing?" Sorry, was actually kind of choking, coughing naturally, choke but cough, basically. Yeah, kind of was eaten before this made this video, so you can imagine it was basically whatever, you guys know. So yeah, so basically the Quirk basically goes like, what, you really think I was gonna let you live and tell him? Oh no, Doc, you ain't gonna live. You're gonna die as punishment from taking me away from him. Now he thinks he's quirkless, and I'll have to be dormant for quite a while until he needs me. So, rest in peace! As basically, he sees the Quirk right in front of him. Like, for some reason, he sees the Quirk right in front of him, and he just sees a hand goes right to his chest, but there's a Quirk. He could see a light coming from behind him, and then he just sees a Quirk in the guy's hand, which there's a glowing light of red coming from his eye. He's just smiling. He goes like, "Oh, choke on your own blood and die. I don't really give a fuck about you." As in an instant, as the voice came and the body was, a manifestation of a body was shown, it disappeared in a red light. And the doctor says, "I have to tell Master," as he tries to reach for the phone, but dies. And this is when Katsumi will see the light. And so, for many years, Izuku was bullied. He was bullied by Katsumi, and nothing to him seemed to hurt him. He learned cooking, sewing, fighting, mixed martial arts. He basically learned anything he could. Izuku basically, while he's quirkless and getting beaten. And he also made 2 lunches. One for himself, one for Katsumi to take from him, without her knowing. And, well, it's been this way for quite a while, until he was 10 years old. You see, Katsumi basically didn't know, but this is a villain. Kind of a well-known, well, not really well-known underground, but in the top 10 rank of villains. He basically could manipulate fire from any source. Basically, a lighter, make it 10 times, and make it a little bit bigger. From fireplaces, anywhere really. And, well, we're going to Izuku when he hears Katsumi, screams for her because she was being thrown against the wall by her own explosions. As, he runs over, as the guy just says, "I like your spirit, kid. But little girls like you shouldn't even mess with villains. You really think just because you have a quirk, you can be strong and defeat anyone? Here's a word of advice for your next life." As he's picking up a bottle, he was like, "There's a lot more people who are stronger than you. Remember your place, you little punk." As when he throws the bottle, this is when Izuku's body just sprint right in. Full speed. Since he's been training, he's way more muscular than most kids. And I mean, he should, not look the way he does, but he doesn't show it, though. Because, one, who would pick on you? I mean, there's still a pick on him, even if he has muscle mass of a 13 to 14-year-old. If you train for your whole entire life, but yeah, so basically, he ran right in, taking a hit of the bottle, which is alcohol, a very, very flammable one, which some of it did pour into the ground, basically leaving a stream to the guy, as Katsumi goes, "Deku, what are you?" As, she sees blood is trickling from Izuku's head, but all the while he's just smiling at her. He just says, "Don't worry, Katsu. I got this. This is a hero job, right?" And before she can even say, "You're just a quirkless loser, I can handle," as Izuku just, looks back. But for some reason, his expression went from a smile to pure effing rage. As the guy goes, "Oh, what's that look, kid? I hurt your friend." Well, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be burned alive and I'll just kill her. As Izuku just suddenly when he hears the word kill, something triggers in his head. A rush, a sensation of adrenaline just pumping through his veins as he realized he may die. So, for some reason, a smile is starting to appear onto his face as, Katsumi can feel like something's off with Izuku. As the guy just says, "Oh, a smile, eh? You're not scared of danger? Well then." As he lights the lighter, and he basically controls the flame while it comes out off of the lighter. As it gets bigger, he goes like, "Well then, let's see how you like this, kid." As he basically shoots out the flame. Izuku, seeing the flame, runs to it, but looks back at Katsumi and tells her to run, get heroes, as fast as possible. And she saw something started glowing in Izuku's eye when he said that. So she does, but before she can even leave the alleyway fully, get into the alleyway and then go all the way out, she hears screaming, and what she sees is Izuku's on fire, but he's not stopping. And the screaming is not from Izuku, it is from the villain. What the villain's seeing, Izuku's eye is red, and a wide grin's on his face, as when he grabs onto to this guy. Basically, Izuku sees, more alcohol. Basically, how can I say this? They're basically behind an alcohol store. And I do not like doing this to him, but his quirk is activated, so he is perfectly fine, everyone. He's perfectly fine. It's just how he's going to turn into Zack. So, I have to give some of Zack's backstory to Izuku. So this means him being burned alive, because Zack was also burned alive to get this weird change in him. Basically bandaged all around and such. So yeah, I have to do that. So basically, after Katsumi sees it, she just sees Izuku throw the guy into a whole entire crate of alcohol as he just runs back over, throwing a punch. And the guy's going on fire while he's trying to extinguish the flame, and Izuku just keeps on fighting him. And she's terrified. She runs back over, out of the alleyway finally, looking for heroes, screaming for help, telling her friends on fire, friends find somebody, he's on fire. They're both on fire. And finally, the water hose, well, not the water hose hero, but I think the water hose would be there, along with, the fire one. Basically, in the very first episode, we saw that he was making a blockway of water, controlling it. I do not know his name, so I'm not gonna care that much. As basically, I just call him Fireman, hero. As basically the water hose and the fireman hero, heard Katsumi, that's where is he? As they ran, and what they saw is Izuku is basically covered in fire while the guy is actually dead. They see Izuku just standing up, just not even moving at all, covered in fire. Basically, they put it out, and what they don't know if he's alive at all. So they do check his pulse, which somehow he's alive. But they check the villain's life. He's dead. They see multiple punch marks and kicks. Hell, even a freaking crack in the guy's skull with blood, which clogged up because of the fire. So they got an ambulance. Katsumi is horrified. She screamed out when she saw Izuku still on fire but standing. It did traumatize her. It did freaking traumatize her. How else am I gonna make her, emotionless? Like Rachel. So, she basically tried her hardest to calm down. And the heroes tried their hardest to make her calm down, but she just screamed. Something broke in Katsumi when she saw Izuku was on fire, and then basically still on fire, and just standing there, completely burned with multiple burns on him. Basically, she doesn't know what happened. Her spirit, you could say, broke. Her normal arrogant attitude, spirit broke because she's blaming herself. If she wasn't such an arrogant person, such a cocky one, a jerk, this never would have happened to him. a quirkless was able to defeat a villain at 10 years old, both of them are 10, and all she could do was just run and get help. So, let's just say, a couple of days pass. Katsumi always came over with her family to the hospital. That's what I would like to say, but no. Katsumi would not leave Izuku's room at all. No one can make her. No one could even budge her. She would not leave. Her parents, Inko and Hasashi, Mitsuki, Inko, Hasashi, her dad, basically just stayed in the room, and they saw that her Mitsuki and her father, Mitsuki and her husband, saw that Katsumi was emotionless. She wasn't herself no more. They ask her if she's okay, she's fine. She just nods. That's all all she does. So, a day passed. Izuku's not waking up. Another day passed. Izuku's not waking up. But his skin is changing along with his hair. Then the third day, the third day, it was about to, be in the afternoon. Izuku just starts opening his eyes and he goes, man, where the hell am I? What the hell? Mitsuki just walks in the room while Katsumi's just still sitting there. She saw Katsumi saw Izuku just waking up. Her eyes did widen when Mitsuki heard Izuku's voice, but he didn't. He sounded a little more different. A little different. Not like he was. Well, not like his voice was like dry or hurt or anything, but a lot more deeper than what it was. He's not the innocent being no more. As you can see, she goes, "It's Izuku." He goes, "Huh, Auntie? What the hell are you doing here?" And she goes, "Oh, you cursed." And he was like, so? Who gives a fuck?" Which she said, "What happened to the small bean?" And he's like, "No, shut up." Which, Ingo Mama, overprotecting Mama, Hasashi's father mode, activates, and they basically enter the room pushing Mitsuki out of the way, and he goes like, "Did you just curse?" He was like, and basically he covers his ears, he goes like, "Shut the hell up! It's too early in the morning!" Wait, is it the morning? Oh. As he looks out the window, it's afternoon. He was like, "Correction, afternoon." You're like, he was, "What?" They said, "You never yelled at us." He's like, yeah. So, wait, why is my personality so different? What's going on? What the hell's going on with me, Mom, Dad? Wait, am I in the hospital? As they nod, and he was like, "Well, it took me long enough to find out." As he does bunk his head a little, and he was like, "Huh? The bandages? Oh, yeah. It's coming back to me now." I was burning alive. Inko then runs off to get, a doctor. The doctor, comes in, but he sees Izuku talking to his dad, moving around perfectly fine. Like, it's just like, he just came out of he's just perfectly fine. And the doctor's just confused. Katsumi's still sitting in the chair, looking at Izuku, not knowing what to do. She doesn't think she should go to Izuku, but she wants to hug him and apologize so much. But she doesn't think she deserves it. So, when Izuku faces sees the doctor, he was like, hello there? If you guys are by the way, if you guys are wondering, did anyone find the doctor's body that, was working for All For One? Yes, they did. There was a funeral. All For One was pissed. He doesn't know who killed him. There was no evidence of anything. So yeah, it was like, a nurse came in because they were running path with, patients to see what their quirks were. So yeah, but anyways. So when the doctor comes to Izuku, he's like, "Hello, young man. How do you feel?" He was like, "I feel fucking fine. Actually, I feel a bit better than ever, actually. It's like most of the stuff I had, like, that was hurting me is gone for some reason." Which, the doctor's, that's good, but the doctor's thinking, he shouldn't be moving around. It should be hurting him. So, the doctor says, we're gonna take some tests. Is that alright? He was like, yeah, sure. Do all the tests you need. It's not like it's gonna prove anything or something. Which, yeah, they do tests. A couple hours later, back in the room, the doctor just comes in and he goes like, well, it said your file was quirkless, but it seems you have a quirk. Which Katsumi's eyes widen on Izuku's and Inko's, Hasashi's, Mitsuki, and her husband. They're all shocked by this. Izuku's like, wait, hold the fuck on. I have a quirk? When? I was pronounced quirkless. Like, there was no chance of me ever having a dormant quirk or, anything, like. But the doctor just, it seems like we took x-rays of you, your bones seem to be perfectly fine, and we noticed you don't have a double joint in your toe, which, because and Hasashi are confused, because the doctor said he had a double joint. I was like, no, it doesn't seem like there ever was. So, they're like, then what, did he just get the test wrong? Which, Katsumi's in more shock, but he says, well, it doesn't matter, he's dead anyway, so we can't really figure out anything. Which he was like, wait, dead? He was like, yes, he's been dead for about, he went to him when he was 4, and they found him the next day. So, I guess about 6 years. Which Izuku just shrugs and like, not my problem. Which that kind of shocked everyone, because Izuku really cared about life, and he was like, what? And they say, oh, yes, it seems like his quirk did change his personality, and Hasashi goes, wait a minute, let me guess. Summoning weapons? Yes, that's one part of his quirk. It's like, yeah, you got my quirk. Wait, does he also have, yes, he also has telekinesis, but it seems like, your other part of your quirk merged with it. It's like, oh god, no, Izuku, you said you want to take all those classes. Were you bullied at school because you were quirkless? Hasashi looks worried. He was like, yeah. Why? Is that a problem? He was like, uh-huh. Oh god. He's like, what's wrong, Dad? Hasashi goes, I'll explain later. But anyways, so they ask, is that everything, Doctor? Inko asks. He goes, oh no, it seems like his quirk also gives him a slight healing factor, which is explaining why he's moving so well, and a durability to his skin, which is because of the fire, his skin became fireproof. Because of his constant, for not a short period of time, it actually was on for a lot longer than a short period. So, his skin technically adapted to the fire very well, became so resistant to the fire, in a short period, it became fireproof. And Izuku goes, so what, I can take something that's hot and won't get burned? He's like, most likely, you resist the heat and flames. So yeah. Izuku just grins at that, he goes, sweet. What about the bandages on me? Do I have to keep them on? And it's like, the doctor just says no. He was like, too bad. I'm keeping them on. I like the way it looks. And then he goes like, oh yeah, who is this freaking depressing porcelain doll girl over here? Izuku hasn't noticed, like, her hair is, short, but, it's been growing long a little. It's long a little. And Mitsuki says, oh, that's Katsumi. Which Izuku just looks at her and goes like, wait, huh? This quiet, depressing, no emotion girl is Katsumi? No, it can't be her. And, I mean, it is, but I mean, the personality-wise, it can't be her. She was always like, die, nerd! Or like that, which, well, honestly, didn't really hurt that much, to be honest. Which they're like, huh? It was like, nothing. Anyways, they don't have like they do have like the what what they have with if you're in the hospital, fluids going to your bloodstream and stuff like that system, basically in your arm. And but they did have to take it out. So he just gets out of the bed and walks over to Katsumi. Katsumi's looking at him, and then he just like, Yosh. He basically just picks her up, like easily picks her up. Which everyone's kind of shocked besides Hasashi and Inko. And then he just like, easily carrying her with one arm, grabs his hand onto the bed, jumps up, and just puts her to his side, holding her. Like hugging her. He was like, she's not leaving my side until she smiles. Which everyone's just like, okay. Yeah, if you guys were wondering, the reason why in this one, Izuku doesn't really care about what Katsumi did to him because he had a crush on her. Yeah, okay, there's the shit. You're welcome. Anyways, I planned this out, so yeah. I don't care if you guys want a different ship. It's happening. So, so basically, Mitsuku's like, how did he? And well, Hasashi just says this. Well, it turns out I had a quirk wherever I take damage. I can increase my strength by 2 or 10 times depending on it. So I guess since Izuku's quirk was dormant, that part of the quirk didn't, or should I say, never went dormant. So it basically stored up all the pain that Izuku took, and now he's 10 times stronger than a normal kid was. And he was already pretty strong for a 10-year-old. And Izuku just smiles at this, which everyone's Mitsuki's kind of confused, and her husband, but not Inko. And and the thing is though, the doctor just says, oh, by the way, he can never deactivate the quirk. I mean, he can still summon the weapons and all, but the whole entire personality thing and everything else about the quirk is always active. So I guess he's permanently gonna be stronger. Ta-ta, for now. As he walks out basically. Which Hasashi and Kosai and you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be a problem. That sort of sigh. Well, Izuku just, starts to talk to Katsumi. She just nods. She doesn't want to say nothing. He talks, and that's how it's going throughout the day. Well, I mean, they would discharge him, but, they're gonna still do a couple more tests to see if he's fine and stuff. He was, burned just a few days ago, so, what happens though is Izuku talks to Katsumi. She doesn't really answer much. Till Izuku's, basically just asks her questions. She just says, I'm fine. It's okay. She does. She says, it's not your fault. It was mine for being an idiot. Which Izuku just kind of got pissed off at that, but doesn't, let her see it. And then she just says why, and then she starts crying, sort of, and, she doesn't really show, but she's crying. But Izuku knows. And he just, does put her, turn her head towards him, because she was looking just straight forward. And he does wipe away her tears. He goes, hey, listen to me, Katsumi, I'm not gonna ever hate you for what you did to me. Got it, dumbass? I did it for my own reasons. I did it because I wanted to. I did it because I didn't want you to get hurt. And then she says, but I deserved it. After all, she's starting to show her emotions a little, and she goes, I don't care. Stop fucking around. Alright? We're 10 years old, I know, but how do I say this? Fuck! I care about you, Katsumi. I care about you a lot. I never want you to get hurt. Alright? But she nods, and, he's hugging her. She's slowly starting to hug him back until she does. And, because of this, Katsumi just starts to feel safe and relaxes and then falls asleep. after a couple hours, though, Mitsuki and Inko walk in, and they want to see if they have any mental problems because of what happened, any traumas. So, they want Izuku to go first. You know, Katsumi was, well, kind of a little bit like tenses up, you know, a little bit, but not around her parents and her aunt, basically. When other nurses came in to check on her, she tenses up. She kind of moves away from them a little bit, which Inko Mitsuki understands. And, well, basically, because Izuku's, quirk and his mindset change, he doesn't really seem to mind, but he has a fear of fire. But anything else, he seems to be fine. So, then when it came to Katsumi, the doctor put out his hand, but, Katsumi just swiped it away, goes farther away from him as much as she can. Realize there's a wall there. And Izuku comes over and says, hey, calm down, it's okay. She's calming down, and he just says, look at me. That sort of thing. The doctor just says, Izuku, you can come with. She can hold on, you can carry her or whatever you need to do. It's like, alright, doc. So Katsumi does just let him, give her a piggyback ride over, which needs to give a shock by with Katsumi's actions. And, well, when they get back, the doctor tells Inko, your son seems to be perfectly fine. Mentally, he's afraid of fire. That's one of his fears now, and traumas, basically. Everything else seems to be perfectly fine, but besides the quirk making him want to kill people. And his personality change, which is perfectly normal. Well, perfectly fine. Kinda. He does have some choice words to say to me. And then Mitsuki goes, but what about my daughter? And he just says, well, it seems that your daughter does not ever want to leave your, Miss Inko's son's side. She doesn't trust no one else besides people that she fully trusts. So she's gonna be mostly attached to him. It's better off to never, for right now, to have them always at each other's side. She also seems to, not to be around most people. Boys in Pacific. Well, actually, most people in general, boys, girls, but a little bit more boys because of, who the man was that Izuku came in and beat and killed. Which Inko's like, wait, he killed him? He was like, to be fair, your son was on fire. And the police are not charging him since it was self-defense. He jumped in the way again, hit by a bottle in the head, blood, alcohol was on him. And he fought the man while he was burning alive and his quirk activate. So, to be fair, it was self-defense. Your son's fine. The cops are not going to charge him for anything, which Inko sighs in relief. So does Mitsuki. Hasashi's out along with her husband. So, basically, Mitsuki and Inko are talking. And, when they come back and they see Izuku basically just having a game system while, basically, he's having his legs crossed with, Katsumi just, sitting right next to him. But, she's looking at the game, too. As she goes, as Inko goes like, Izuku, sweetie, where did you get that? He was like, I was able to summon it. But she goes, but your quirk only allows weapons. He was like, yeah. I guess I'm more than just weapons. She goes, what do you mean? He's like, well, if you really think about it, everything's a weapon. Like, legit. Everything. Which Inko just realized. She goes like, so let me guess, a video game system, like, is this a portable game system? He goes like, bash someone's head in with it. Which, they're just quiet for a few minutes. Katsumi just nods. But, meanwhile, inside, Zuko's mindscape, the quirk is like, oh, crap! I did take something else from the doctor by accident. You can summon anything else that's not a weapon. It's not my problem. Like, legit, it's not my problem. So, yeah. Yeah, you guys don't think I just add stuff in? No, another part of the thing I was gonna, just... I say something, but then I basically already had that plan for you to tell you guys like this. So, yeah, anyways. So, after that all happens, they talk to Hasashi, basically, Mitsuki talks to her husband, Inko talks to Hasashi, and, well, they decide to have Inko, and, well, because Inko, Hasashi, Izuku were living in the apartment, Mitsuki and her husband and Katsumi are living in just a normal house, which is 3 bedrooms, so basically they decide to basically share a place. Which is, they just go... Actually, I think they would actually have, 4 to 5. So basically, they just tell Izuku and Katsumi that they're going to be living with each other. And they're perfectly... And Izuku was like, good, because I need to make sure she starts to smile more. Like, seriously. She's like a porcelain doll who won't smile. It's annoying as fuck. And, yeah. Inko's not going to like this idea. So, they do leave... the hospital. He was discharged. And it's going to take quite a while until, he goes back to school, so they decide to pack. They get everything ready to pack, they do what they need to do, they move in, they show the rooms, and, well, just like the doctor said, when Katsumi goes into her, was put into her room by herself, she finds Izuku's room before he falls asleep, and yeah, basically she asks, "Can I sleep with?" He just pulls up over the blanket up, and she just goes and sleeps. He just basically just sleeping normal, and well, that's it. So yeah, we will go to the day of the school, and well, let's just say this: when everyone saw Izuku and Katsumi, they were just dumbfounded because they didn't know who these were. Like, Katsumi was, basically her eyes had they weren't looking like they were empty. While Izuku was, had green hair. Over time, Izuku's hair went black, anyways, well, and he didn't have bandages on. He's not wearing the red hoodie yet, or black pants, or boots. So he just says, "Yeah, Izuku Midoriya, back in school. What's up, fuckers?" As everyone shot that he cursed, he just smiles at this. Katsumi just says, "Izuku, can you stop, cursing so much?" He goes like, "Fine, Katsu, fine." She does smile a little bit because he's been saying Katsumi for a while, and, Katsu's coming back here and there. So, and, well, Katsumi's group of bullies just saying, what happened to you, quirkless loser? As the teacher just tells him to shut up. Legit. They have been informed to not let anyone pick on them because of what happened. Especially for Katsumi. So, well, Katsumi doesn't gets a seat, sits right next to Izuku. Izuku sits in a seat, though. Normally, everyone's kind of wondering why, and they just say something happened to them, and we cannot tell you much. So yeah, basically, that goes on for a couple of years. Oh, that goes on for the next 3 years. And, well, everything goes to canon besides Katsumi, bragging and stuff. She's way more quiet. She doesn't use her quirk as much, or at all even. She learned other stuff. She was already learning cooking. So, she learns that. She learned hand-to-hand combat from Izuku because of his training. She even found out, Izuku cooked. It was just simply amazing to her that, that he did all this. And all this time, she realized he always had a second lunch. It was a force of habit for him to always have a second lunch. When she was about to make it, she goes, no, I already got it prepared for you. She's like, huh? And he just shows her, it. And she was like, wait, you were the one? And he goes, uh-huh, I made this always for you, Katsumi. He smiled and, she does blush. So basically, if you guys don't notice, Katsumi and Izuku are dating right at this moment. So yeah, one guy's pissed. This guy was in her group of, when they were blowing Izuku, he had a crush on her. And, this is something I'm gonna have to, where he's gonna do something that he's not gonna live. So, yeah, anyways. So, what happens is this. Everything that happens in canon, besides the sludge villain. In this case, Izuku and Katsumi do go out, after school and hanging out at the mall. Katsumi became more of a tech person, like she learned how to, invent stuff for the past 3 years. She figured out a way how to, like, make an app so that way only her and Izuku could, track each other. They were at the mall. Oh. Well, basically, Izuku was they're in the food court. And Izuku basically told her he had to go to the bathroom. Wow, then, well, these group of friends that were the bullies, the one of them that likes her comes over and says, hey, Katsumi, we haven't talked in a while. 30 years, ever since what happened to you and the nerd, to you to the loser. She doesn't answer. He's like, come on, Katsumi. Her fear of being around people when she's alone hasn't, gotten better, but, the dude, suddenly grabs her. Well, not grabs her, more like put his hand on her shoulder. She does freak out a little bit, trying to keep her cool, because it's in a public place. He's like, come on, Katsumi, let's talk like old times. Basically, she looks like she is in the picture right here. So, as soon as that, they leave, 2 minutes later, 2 seconds later, Izuku, knows Katsumi's gone, with her bags that were on the floor, which he knows, she'll wait for him. So he gets out his phone, he sees, the guy and basically the two goons, one of the stretchy fingers, the other one, that was, I would say the wing one is still around. No. Just some random one. And then the guy that he heard rumor that he liked Katsumi since, they were kids. He's like, oh crap, that bastard's gonna try something. He grabs Katsumi's bags and his. He only has one or two. He puts them all together and then he just runs. Runs down the stairwell. Run down the stairs. And he follows the trackers, and when he gets outside, it actually, shows where they're gonna be and where they are. He sees an alleyway nearby, he's run over to this. Before anything happens, Izuku sees them. The guy basically is arguing with Katsumi, saying like, why you don't notice me, you only tell him his hand. She just doesn't answer, and then he basically grabs her arms and pins her against the wall. Before he can even try anything, the guys are really trying to stop him. He uses his quirk. I'm gonna say he can basically make projectiles out of his body of spikes anywhere he wants, so they're trying to dodge, and he just has to focus on one thing, then the other. Soon, like, both of them pinned to the walls from their shirts. He's saying, great, now whereas, what that meant is, he feels a sharp pain in his arm. Or should I say his left shoulder. As he screams out in pain, Katsumi was freaking out, but she sees Izuku. And he goes, oi! What the hell you think you're doing to my fucking girlfriend? As he summons out the scythe. Zack's scythe, basically. Or should I say Izuku's traditional weapon. As Izawa, was passing along, and he heard this kid screaming. When they were pinned, he was about to jump in until he saw the guy scream out of pain. As he looked over, he saw Izuku, and then he heard that. And then the guy just legit looks at Izuku while he let go at Katsumi. She goes like, it's always you. Why is it always you? You damn fucking nerd. She should be with me. And just because you got your quirk. How? And Izuku, just looks at him. He was like, so what you're gonna do to her? Force yourself? Well, it doesn't fucking matter. Besides, you should really worry about your backside. As he was like, huh? As then all of a sudden, Katsumi pulls the trigger. The guy gets shot in the back. But it was like, bang, boom. Which, Izawa knows these guys. Basically. It's self-defense. From what Izawa saw, it was self-defense. And, they're allowed to use their quirks for self-defense. They were given permission and license. So, basically, what happens is that after the guy's on the board screaming in pain and agony, asking her why, she just looking at him like, I don't care about you. You're no one to me. And Izuku's walking up, she walks past him. He's like, why him? Why not me? And basically Izuku's like, quit your whining, you piece of shit. I'll just end your life right here and now. And he has this scythe up in the air as the guy goes, no, as dead. He ended his life. And the two guys were shot as then the Razorhead jumps down. He goes, I don't condone you killing, but you have been given a license to protect yourselves if anything of this caliber happens. And, Izuku just says, yeah. Hell, even killing was a part of it because of my quirk. So, what about these two? Which, he just looks at them, and he says, no, just go home. But, don't worry, I saw what happened, so the cops come, you just tell them what happened. He goes, yeah, I will. So you're gonna just, cover my ass? Hey, Izawa? He's like, yeah, I will. Katsumi, you fine? She is shaking a little, and she does nod, yes, she's fine. She says, I'm fine. And he's like, good. Now, what, you guys want me to walk you home after I deal with these two? As Izuku looks at Katsumi, she is shaking as he does hold her by the shoulder and pulls her in for a hug. But the scythe disappears, and he goes like, yeah, that'll be fine, Izawa. That'll be fine. And so, basically, after dealing with the two other basically bullies of Izuku in the past, he basically called the police. They find the body, but, it's Razorhead, aka Izawa, is long gone, along with, Katsumi and Izuku. They do get home. He does put her in his room. He does say he needs a couple of minutes to himself. She nods. And Izuku goes into his room. Well, into a different room, just sitting there with nothing in there. Izawa told, because Mitsuki was home, and Inko, and Hasashi, and her husband, he just told them what happened. They were pissed. They asked, where's that boy? And, he just said Izuku killed him. Proud, paranoid. Well, they're not proud of him for killing him, but proud for him to protect him, or, his girlfriend. So, after Izuku calmed down, he goes over to, Izumi in his room, because they do share a room, and she asks, are you okay? Because he entered, he was like, yeah, I'm fine. Fine. She just tells him to come over here. As when he does, he sits on the bed, she just crawls over to him and just hugs him. She does say, I know what you're thinking. It's not your fault. I should have at least used my quirk. And Izuku goes, no, you don't like using it very much. I know, but still, she says, I should have used it to scare them off. But I'm scared of using it again because of, he's like, Katsumi. I'm fine. You will never hurt me, I know. I'm not afraid of being hurt. Remember, I got used to your explosions. If we're gonna become heroes together, well, hopefully we can. If I don't kill people. She does nod, and she goes, I'll keep you in line, as you keep me safe. He nods. And they do kiss, basically. So, the cops do arrive. Miyazawa did stay there. They talk to Izuku and Katsumi, sorry. Brain's starting to move really fast on names right now. So yeah. So basically, they tell them the cops agreed. I mean, there were signs of what was said was true from Katsumi's perspective, and what Izuku did. So they, since they do have license to use their quirks to protect themselves, that even means kill necessary because of their traumas and stuff, and because of Izuku's quirk. They can't really do nothing. And so they do tell the boy, like, go tell to the other boys. They tell the truth, and they do say you're gonna be going. Well, there's gonna be some harsh punishments, which they don't understand why. Neither does the other guy. Well, I mean, both of those guys don't understand. They're just telling them the situation they were in, and they feel bad. So the 10 months happen. After that, Izuku trains his quirk, and he finds out he can summon non-real weapons, like from anime weapons. But he's not going to do that. He knows they're too OP. Katsumi gets better at hacking, sewing, cooking, shooting a gun. But Izuku told her to use her quirk. And at first, she was reluctant for the first couple of months. But then after a while, she has. She has always used her quirk in a few explosions. If Izuku ain't talk about anyone bullying him, she always got over mad. Explosions happen in her hand, and he always chuckle at this. So she's finally using her quirk, and it's not as strong as it was in canon, but because Izuku helped her train, she does get back to canon strength. Bakugo would be canon Bakugo would be, but also with a little bit more power behind her, explosions. So because of his training with her, she has gotten a lot stronger. And we go to the day of UA. Oh, by the way, All Might knows who they are. They met, because of Nezu found out about what happened to them. So he wanted to, he offered to help out if ever needed. He basically, if you're going why, is because Hisashi. That's why. Hisashi was gonna be going to UA, which Nezu knew, but because of the people around him and telling him he's gonna be a villain, blah blah blah, he was never going to, and Hisashi did have a scholarship to UA. So yeah, this is why Nezu basically is helping out Nozen Izuku and Katsumi along with All Might. So basically, they take the written portion. They aced it. In the combat portion, Nezu gave Izuku to use his, quirk. And he was like, fucking finally! I get to destroy shit! So, yeah. That was his reaction when he found out he could use that as quirk. Because he can just normally punch stuff and that's it. Anyways, during the fighting portion, when everyone's waiting, Katsumi's in the same area as Izuku because she doesn't want to leave his side. Which Ida sees Katsumi and Izuku sitting down on the ground. Basically, Izuku has his legs crossed while Katsumi's just sitting on his legs. Basically, as he's just playing a game on a game that he has, portable system he just summoned, which Ida goes over to talk, says, you shouldn't be doing this, blah, 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 you're very disrespectful, blah, 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 because of distraction, blah, 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 and then he goes like, oh, 4 eyes. You're the one who's ever causing distraction because you're coming over to talk to me. Me and my girlfriend here are just fine doing everything on our own and being ourselves. So, if you want to be a good dog, scram. As he's like, hey, there's no way to talk to me, like that. Izuku just says, he just looks at him. Doesn't care. Goes back to playing. So when President Mike was it's about... Oh man. Oh crap, I'm not even tired and I yawned. Alright, so when President Mike's talking, the doors open, the whole entire device disappears. Basically the portable game system disappears. He looks at Katsumi nods. He picks her up, rattles out, and just runs in. Basically. Which everyone's like, hey, that's cheating. And he says, there's no basically time if you're in a villain fight, you go, go, go. In which, well, Katsumi uses her quirk, and basically, well, she kind of uses her computer to hack in, so her main computer she worked on with Izuku. And Izuku's using his sight plus weapons to get through. Basically, he's a scythe, katana, like basically brass knuckles, guns, and well, freaking rocket launchers to destroy the robots. I would say by the 25 mark, he has around 250, breaking All Might's record. And Katsumi has at least the exact same, well, at least 249. The reason why is because of Katsumi's, not having Izuku's quirk. Basically, he's gained way more long-range attacks, and so she has to be up close and personal, which she says she needs to work on her quirk more. She needs to stop neglecting it. And so, they're always nearby. They cover each other's backs. He protects her, she protects him. Which Izawa and Nezu and All Might are kind of shocked that their teamwork is so well and balanced. It's like neither one of them can hit each other. Which all the teachers are shocked. So Nezu brings out, is about to press the 0-pointer, button to send it out. Izawa just pressed it right away. Which Nezu goes, you pressed my button! How dare you? He was like, you weren't quick enough. He was like, I'll beat you next time to it. And, well, let's just say this. Basically, Katsumi says she's going to go this way and, and fight more robots, and, Izuku was going to go the other way before they decide to basically press the button. So they get a few more points, getting 300 points each. So when Izuku hears the 0-pointer, he he runs back and sees everyone's running. He's like, I'm not gonna take on that thing. I can't destroy it, even if I can summon them out weapons. So that's my problem. As then he just hears Katsumi screaming out for Izuku's help, which he sees it, her underneath the rubble, and well, he just looks back and just walks, and he's pissed. The Zero-Porter, is coming forward, and it's not near Katsumi yet, but if Izuku doesn't do anything, it will kill her. So they're trying to stop the Zero-Pointer because, Katsumi is, in danger. All Might's rushing over to, rushed over as soon as he can, but he won't get there in time. As, Izuku just legit just has a sword summon out from him. We're making a reference toward the Fate series. Well, actually, no. Not a sword, but a bow and an arrow that looks like a sword. As he basically just, pulls back on the arrow, pulls back on the string of the bow, and he just says, burn to ash, you robot piece of shit! As, he basically shoots the arrow, sending it flying into the robot. But on impact, it does destroy the robot. If you guys are wondering, how so? Easy. If you guys will not notice or figure it out, Izuku's power does give some of the same things of the weapon. That if it is non-real, if it's not real, Izuku can summon them, but they will have the exact same things of the weapons itself, but a little bit less broken. Basically, what I mean by a little less OP. It's basically on an average enough to destroy a building. That's how strong they are. Which, will he ever make them at the full power of it? No, it's not. But he can only have them out for about 30 minutes. So, when Izuku desummons it, the bow, he goes over to Katsumi, lifts up the rubble, and asks if she's okay. She does not. She says she knew, he'll hear her. She says, I knew you would hear me. He's like, of course I would. I'm not gonna let my girlfriend die on me. She does smile at that. He was like, there's that smile I've always been waiting for. She goes, shut up. She still is emotionless, but, has a little bit more motion in the voice. Only around Izuku. her parents and his parents. So, after that, they leave. All Might was impressed by Izuku's performance. Alone Nezu. Izawa just says, they're gonna be in my class and be problem children. So, I'm fine with whatever. Nezu says, well, it's glad to say they're alright. Anyways, I mean, they do look at the score. They're kind of shocked, but Izuku got first place, Katsumi second. So, anyways, let's just skip to after they get the letter. Well, actually, yeah, no. They would get the letter a few days early, and they were happy to find out that they got an Alleyway, and even Izuku got first place. So, and they all go out to eat. But basically, basically, is this Katsumi's happy that Izuku's able to get into UA because that means she's not by herself, and that they can spend a lot more time together. I mean, they always do, but I mean, she was worried. Izuku's just happy that he's with Katsumi. So yeah, their relationship is going pretty well, and we're not gonna go to the next, into UA yet. So I do hope you guys forgive me, but it is over an hour, and since I actually yawned, I'm actually thinking I'm getting pretty tired. But anyways, though, hope you guys always have a nice night, nice day, wherever you guys are. And I will make Issei part 3 of What He Was Sebastian's Son. And someone asked about the Ultimatrix part 2 of Izuku Ben 10. Well, Izuku 10, basically. I had an idea what I was going with, but I kind of scratched the idea. Well, not really scratched the idea where it's going for the entire story, but scratched the idea for a second part. And then I kind of just had some stuff happen to me. So, I'm working on the story. I may make that sometime in October. So, maybe on my birthday. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, nights, and yeah. Let me guys know, though, about the whole entire Yukio Asta what if idea. Anyways, bye everyone.